Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jesse Martin, and today I'm here to share with you and hopefully to motivate you to embrace an idea. That idea is the idea of the fight today for a better tomorrow. The idea to use your ideas to bring about true community development and change in our world. This idea is built in simplicity and complexity all at the same time, in using what knowledge you have to give to others, to provide them with opportunity. We as a species are where we are, not just because of ideas, but because of our potential to share those ideas with others. I mean, after all, that's why we're here today, right? In sharing our ideas, ladies and gentlemen, we can provide others with something they never had before. So whether you know nanoengineering to riding a bike, or philosophy to simply reading a book, or whether it's boxing classes through to nanoengineering, all of us have knowledge on something. And it is this something we can use to bring about true community development and change in our world. So you can understand my train of thought and why I've come to this conclusion, I must take you on a bit of a journey into my past. As a youth, I began boxing. As a relatively weak and powerless individual I felt at the time, this seemed like a great idea. The man who provided us with this opportunity to learn to box and to learn to fight was by no means a rich nor extravagant individual. He was a blue-collar, 7-to-5 worker who, after a long day's hard grind at work, wouldn't go home to the luxury and comfort of his home. No, rather he'd come down to an old, dilapidated gas station, which consisted of some old worn-out ropes to make a boxing ring, 2 busted and faded boxing bags hanging over a hard, cold, chipped-away concrete floor with gas pumps sticking out of it. This man gave up his time to youth who he had absolutely nothing to, day after day, week after week, year after year. And why? Because he felt that's what he had to give to the world. This is what he had to share. Because of this man and myself and the other individuals who use this joint, I've been given brotherhood, I've been given knowledge, I've been given skill, I've been given the idea that I have purpose in the world. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I got the idea that I actually mattered in this world. Thankfully for me and for the other individuals who use this place, men like this exist in the world. And I've been fortunate enough to know several men such as this in the world. Unfortunately, though, all things seem to have a time limit, and in time, this kind-hearted soul had to take up opportunity for his family elsewhere. So with his departure, somewhat of a hard road came to many of us. So where did it all go wrong? When our outlet left, why did it go so wrong for us? Now, jumping forward a bit. One night while home, my father and I were watching a TV show, and in my anger and disgust at what I seen on the TV, I cried out and made a bit of a fool of myself with a few obscenities coming out of my mouth. My father turned to me at the time and he said 4 words, ladies and gentlemen, that would change my life, shatter my preconception, and change my world. He said to me, "What have you done?" 4 words, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to dwell on there. What have you done? At first I was taken back. I'm like, what do you mean what I've done? What's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with this equation? And he said, well, you sit here and cry about what you see. You sit and cry about this situation. You sit and cry about the world. Well, what have you done to change it? What have you done for anybody for that matter? At the time, I'm young, so I jump up. I don't need this. I'm going, take off out the door. Anyway, it was later that night. I was in the shower. I remember just sitting in there. And then as the water was falling around me, I began to think about back to today, back to that conversation. And I started to think of myself, what had I done? And then, ladies and gentlemen, like a bolt of lightning, it hit me. Like a baseball bat across my chest, man, it hit me. My Eureka moment had hit, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I done? And I want to take a guess. Nothing. That's what I've done. Absolutely nothing. I sit back and I cry about what I see. I sit back and complain about the world. But what have I done to change it? I've done nothing. Well, what do I know? Fighting. That's what I know. Now, don't let the lovely picture there fool you, okay? I ain't no Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather in terms of ability, but I know a little bit. I know enough to give back. So utilizing this idea and this basic knowledge in me on how to box, how to fight, I decided to share that and give that back to others. And so, ladies and gentlemen, was born the idea of the Streets Movement, a community organization, a charity that would go out and utilizing the basic knowledge within me, that fighting mentality, that fighting ideology within me, I could give back to others. I give back to the community in the same way that was given to me when I was young. Now, for those of you who've never jumped in a ring or partook in some sort of martial arts or been in the army or formed in some sort of combative nature, you may not fully understand yet the idea of the fighter's mentality and the fight. See, ladies and gentlemen, the fighter's mentality, okay, right, is one where I refuse to give up. I refuse to quit, and I refuse to let what's in front of me beat me. And the fight, well, hey, this can be whatever you want it to be, okay? For you ladies and gentlemen are there, how many of you have to fight on a Monday morning to get out of bed? How many of you have to fight to go to work, okay, when our bed seems so much comfier? But we get ourselves up, we go to work, and we pay those bills. For you kids out there, okay, right? How hard is it to sit through English or math class and have to fight to listen to that teacher? But we do it anyway. We fight for those better grades. In my case, ladies and gentlemen, as idealistic as it sounds, okay, my fight was for a better community and a better world. In due course, ladies and gentlemen, we were able to build a community center, community gym. It's not much, but hey, it's a start. And from this place we could go home, this is a place that was ours. We could give back what little knowledge we had here. And most importantly, that idea of the fight. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, fighting has nothing to do with this and everything to do with this. This is the attitude we needed to give to our youth. This is the attitude we needed to give to our community so that they could give back in the same way that we have. We saw building this community center as providing social justice and equality to our community. We figured if youth were coming in off the street, considering it's a community center, there is no charge. So people walk in, maybe you drop $1 here or there, maybe you don't. It's all up to you. It's all up to your willpower. All we try to provide is that space, that outlet that we were provided with as youth. So with this space, we thought, providing it for our community, we saw that as that social justice, that equality. We figured if we built this, we're providing that opportunity that we were given as youth. So why should it be that finance dictates whether a person has access to health, fitness, and opportunity? It shouldn't, right? After all, it helped me. So if these opportunities don't exist in our community, then we needed to create them. And so volunteers came down, we set up our programs, and then soon, our community center was teeming with life. In 6 months, we've seen over 2,500 people walk through our doors and ask for a hand up rather than a hand out. In one form or another, ladies and gentlemen. These individuals will come through our door, these kids, asking simply for that same opportunity that we had. Nothing more, nothing less. But soon, with all these new people, there was new ideas flowing around. There was new knowledge, there was new skill, there was new talent walking into our place. So pretty soon, it wasn't just boxing knowledge walking through those doors. There was dance. There was music. There was football. There was basketball. There were people who come down to cook, to clean, to use what they knew to give back. Now we were fighting for our community in a new way, ladies and gentlemen. Not with this, but with this. Now, I won't say it's been all roses in building this movement, actioning this idea, or living by this philosophy. This idea took me to the brink of destruction and despair at one point. I was in a pit of my own depression. I gave up my home to keep this community center and this idea alive. After all, we're not getting funding for this, so the money's got to come from somewhere. I did not sleep in a bed anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I slept in a boxing ring. I gave up my job and worked 6 days at this joint, 12-hour days minimum, for money that was never hitting my bank account, but going towards keeping this community center and this idea alive for others. See, the way I figured it, if I was in there every day preaching this idea of the fight and to stand up and do more, what kind of hypocrite would I be? What kind of man would I be if I gave up on them? what message would that send? I would not be that man. I would not give up. I would keep that fighter's mentality, and I'd come out strong. I would come out on top. The streets would come out on top. These kids will come out on top. Our people will come out on top. In due course, ladies and gentlemen, we did come out on top. We went from a community center to working in our streets in our region, to working at every high school across our region. Then, all the way through to international engagement and even gracing the halls of the United Nations with our message. This idea, which started in Bentley Park, Cairns, all the way to the Big Apple, New York City, UN Plaza. Ideas, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we need. Your ideas and your power of will to change our community. What gives me hope is every day I can walk into this joint and I see new people, new kids, new people giving a hand, giving assistance to the younger ones. When I see them, I need to say nothing to them, nor they to me. But what we both have is we are both being connected by an idea, by a philosophy, by this collective ideological conscience that together, maybe this youth who I've trained will go on to train another, who may go on to help another, who may go on to help another. This is that collective ideological conscience, ladies and gentlemen. This is fighting for our community in a new way. The power of ideas fighting for our community. There is an old saying, what man is a man who does not make his world a better place? Now to some, these may be just, hey, words. But to me, it encompasses so much more. It is a position and a perspective which must be fought for. And the power, ladies and gentlemen, lies within your grasp. You have the power to change things. You have the power to stand up and give back. You know who the agent of change is in this world, ladies and gentlemen? Every day when you get up, they're staring back at you in the mirror. That's who it is. If you want to change the world, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to change your community, don't just look to the government. Don't look for just to NGOs to solve your problems. The person of change, the agent of change in this world, is looking back at you every day. At the beginning of this talk, I talked about this idea of being built in simplicity and complexity all at the same time. The simplicity, ladies and gentlemen, lies in utilizing our ideas. I mean, after all, they're our ideas. Who knows them better than us, right? The complexity lies in keeping them going for others. It's too easy to give up. It's too easy. I got work tomorrow. I'm tired after work. I've got, the kids got soccer practice. Okay, I've got to go shopping tonight. Everyone's got excuses. Take the excuses away. Provide that time, provide that support, provide that care for others. You are the agent of change, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stress that enough. We need your power. We need your strength. We need your ideas. But most importantly, we need you. That's what we need to change our world. This is the streets movement, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fight today for the better tomorrow. This is our revolution. Thank you.